Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome to this next video. This one is going to be on entries and stops for trading supply and demand. So when trading supply and demand, there's a very simple and easy way to tell where you should enter and where you should exit. So we're going to look at an example on Etsy right now. So you see we have this demand zone here at 123. So it goes from 123 down to 109, right? So very simple. The way that I trade supply and demand and how most people do it is you want to get in right as soon as it touches demand. It's very common for sometimes supply and demand to kind of just touch the top of the zone and then end up reversing. So instead of kind of just guessing where in the zone to buy, I always enter, most of the time, I would always enter at the top of the zone for demand. It would be at the bottom of the zone for supply. And I'll show you an example later in the video. But for now, I'd want to be getting in right at this 122 or 123 level, right? So let's say price comes down and there's demand, get in right here on the 11th. And where do we put our stop? Well, it's pretty simple. You just want to put your stop right below that demand zone, right? Because if price breaks demand, it breaks that low, it shows that sellers are stronger than buyers and that this zone is now invalid. So I don't want to be inside the trade anymore. So that's the one thing I love about supply and demand is that it's very clear on where to enter and where to exit for your stop loss. In terms of your target, that can be determined on a number of different things. It can be based off your strategy. It could be based off candles. It could be based off whatever you want, right? There's no real answer to or correct answer of where your target should be. So a very common thing that you can do is target the next supply zone, right? So if we're looking at this example, we have a mini supply zone right here, this candle, just like that. That obviously ended up breaking, but you can see that price came down and then we could put a target right here. So if we were to take this trade, I'd be getting in along there, stop right about there, target would be that supply. So about a 1.19 R trade, not bad at all. Now obviously this supply zone broke. Not every supply and demand zone is going to work 100% of the time. That's just how trading is. There are a number of ways to tell, when zones are not going to work. I'm not going to show you that in the next few videos, but for now, for entries and exits, you just want to be getting in right as price enters and getting out if it gets below that demand zone. So taking a look at Costco, you can see we have a really nice demand set up here. So price came down, we have a drop, we have a base, and we rally, right? Very strong price action, nice demand zone here. So if price came down, I would be expecting a move into this zone and then a push out. So a very simple trade I could put on is getting in right at that 515, 516 area, putting the stop right below it, and then I could target possibly at the highs. That's about a 4.2 R trade. Very nice risk reward. Let's take one more example at Zoom on the weekly chart. Go up here. So you can see Zoom on this weekly supply, we dropped, we based, we had another drop, DBD setup. So on the weekly time frame, Zoom came up, tapped it, and then went all the way lower. So we could have got short with puts right at this level here. Stop would go right above that supply zone, right there. If we wanted to, we could target maybe the lows down here for a solid 2.3 R trade, right? So that's how you find entries and stop losses. One other thing that you could do, if sometimes these demand zones get pretty big, so like maybe, we'll just say a zone was this big, and, you don't want to be risking, 43 points, right? You don't want to be risking that much. Something you could do is wait for the reaction and then move your stop above where the demand or supply zone hit. So in this example, right, this is our zone. Instead of getting in at 290 with a short and putting the stop above 307, what you could do is wait for the reaction, right? So maybe after I see that the supply rejection works and now price is down here at the 270, I could get in short at 270 and then I could just risk the top of this candle here of where it got in, right? So you're lowering your risk a little bit if the zone is pretty big. So that's something you could do as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, it's very simple of where to put your entry and your stop, especially when using supply and demand. And so I will see you all in the next video.